Well, all right. Good afternoon, adventurers. Yes. It is Friday afternoon, 1 p.m. And you know what that means? It's time for John's Dungeon Corner, where we talk about all things Dungeons and Dragons, coming to you from the studio at the Collective in Altamont Springs, Florida, where it is a sunny 82 degrees. Woo-hoo-hoo. It's a little warm today. So we have been talking about player characters this month. And today's kind of like the wrap-up day, kind of like what we did with the Dungeon Master segment, right? Kind of wrapped it up and kind of put it all together. So let's do that. But first, let's talk about a couple things. Actually, this is something that someone texted me about, emailed me about. They were asking, hey, do you guys have anything that I could use for a lake water encounter kind of thing? I think they're running the salt marsh encounter or creating their own. But look at this. I talked about this. It's been a little bit since this came out. Hey, Sarah, happy Friday. This came out a little while ago, but this is the ship's crew. And it comes with the raft and everything. Here it is in full color, kind of. Painted up the ship's crew with the crates and everything. And it's got the master and the cannons and everything. So it's kind of really cool. It could go really good with the cavern set from the tiles. I think that's why they were looking for it. I'm not sure, but there it is. It did come out. It is out. So you don't have to try and piece it all together. You got to paint it, but that's all right. These things all come pre-primed. So this is nice. That's the nice thing about these. All right. So there it is. That's the ship's crew. They're primed, painted right out the box. Okay. Now, and along with that, someone had asked me on another email. It's kind of interrelated, sort of in a way, because it's about miniatures. They said, so we've seen people that have pre-painted miniatures. They don't feel like they can, some people don't feel like they can paint, although painting is easier than you think now, especially with all the different kind of paints that are out. And we're going to talk about that in another segment, but I brought out some of the pre-painted miniatures that are already done up, and they're really neat, okay? Since we're talking about the player characters, here we go. This is a human barbarian with twin axes, okay? Really nice. I know you can't see it really good in that plastic, but you know what? That's why you need to come down to the store and check them out. And I just got six of the many. This is a female human bard. They look really cool. A dwarf wizard. All right. So, I mean, I'm just kind of showing you a variety just to show you that, oh my gosh, they really do make stuff. This is a male half-orc druid. Really cool. I like these. In fact, I pretty much own one of each of these miniatures. This is a really neat one. This is a female halfling cleric. Check that out. The neat thing about this is that if they're spellcasters and stuff, you'll usually see kind of like this little like transparent something like in the druid one. You can see it really well. See that right? It's right. Right there. That's his spell going off. And this is a female half-elf swashbuckler. All right. So it's really neat the way these painted miniatures have turned out. They've done a really good job. And this kind of, yes, they're pre-painted. They're in a certain scheme with certain weapons. That's okay. It's Dungeons and Dragons. You can make it happen however you like. But here's the wonderful thing. You can get them like that, or if you don't find what you're doing, there's also the box sets, which I've talked about, the booster box sets. This is a Dragonlance one, but this has Captain Haas that you can use. Becklin, Knight of Solamnia, a Kender. It has, and these are just the ones that are out on the box. This isn't all they have. A Dragon Army Soldier, Quallen SD Elf, and a Draconian Boz. So it's got monsters, but and these are random, so you're not sure what you're gonna get. This has a Dragonborn, Draconic Sorcerer, a Human Warlock of the Fiend. This also has a Wizard, Human Wizard, and this set has a Wood Elf Druid, a Human Cult of the Dragon, and a half-red Dragon Fighter. So all types of different characters you can get also in the booster sets. So A lot of different ways you can get even custom ones. Not going to get into it because that gets a little pricey, but it's out there. So you can get prepaid miniatures. But I'll tell you what, to all of you who are thinking about it, go and get yourself a pre-prime one. Paint it up. They usually come with two different poses, different types. A half-elf sorcerer, let's say, or a halfling rogue. Paint them up. See which one you like better and use them. And you can use them in different roles. Some of them come in really neat. I'm going to talk about this later on in the series when we talk about miniatures. I'm going to do a segment on miniatures and painting and so on and so forth. But the neat thing, hey, Antonio, welcome to the show. I kind of figured you were there. But the neat thing is about that you can paint them and they can come in different poses. So let's say you have a fighter, let's say a human warrior, and sometimes he's a sword and shield guy, and sometimes he's shooting his bow. Well, there's figures, they come in sets, and sometimes you'll see the fighting pose one, and then they'll have like with a bow or a crossbow. So you can kind of use them, just switch the figures out. It's really neat. It's a lot of fun. It's something that you can do. All right. Now, you don't even have to paint the miniature. Sometimes you don't have time to paint the miniature, but you got the miniature you want, boom. And you can just put it out there. That's you. It's representation of your character. All right. So we talked about that. I got a treat for you guys. You haven't seen this yet, but I told you that I got invited to do the premiere shows on the March 31st of the Dungeons and Dragons movie out at the Riverwalk. So I'm going to be out there locally. But look at this. This is the movie poster. We'll try to set it out to where you can kind of see it, but you never know. There it is. Ta-da! Movie poster. Pretty cool, right? Anyway, so I'll be out there. See, look at that. Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. And it comes out March 31st. It's going to be awesome. So I'm going to be out there running some Dungeons and Dragons in their party room. Hey, Donna, how are you? Welcome to the show. Just missed the movie poster. But look, I'll bring you back out because I like the movie poster. Check it out. Ta-da. There it is. All kinds of cool stuff. Hugh Grant's in it, Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez. It's gonna be a good movie. Good movie. And I will be there on opening night to help bring people into the fold, the Dungeons and Dragons fold. Anyway, so that's always a lot of fun. Okay? Yep, it sure is. All right, here we go. All right. Now, let's talk about the wrap-up. So we've been talking about how to create characters and we created a character in less than an hour the other day when Willie was here, and then kind of talked about how we go further from that and all the different options available to us and all that, what we need. So I think that's really what I want to talk about, because a lot of people say, wow, that is so much stuff. So many dice, miniatures, and cards, and this and that and the other. Well, slow it down. Just slow it down. Remember, I actually showed you what you really needed and a couple suggestions to kind of boost that up a little bit. A couple, your one set of dice and maybe some extra 6-siders and an extra 20-sider, right? Because that's or maybe maybe a couple of extra 20-siders. But that's all you really need, all right? Yourself, your imagination, and some time. That's it, all right? But if the question that someone asked me was, so you're going to go to a game, what would you carry? What is it you carry? Well, you know what? They asked me, what is that yellow bag back there? Okay, so this is my yellow bag. This is what I carry. This is everything that I have for a player. It sits in this bag. I got it online. Doesn't matter where or what. It's just a bag. Sometimes I use a backpack. I saw it online. It's golden dragon scales. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get myself a Christmas present. And I got it a couple of years ago. There you go. But what's cool about it is, really quick, I'll kind of give you a tour of the bag, right? I can carry miniatures in here. Okay, so it has an area for miniatures. All right, then you unzip this part here. And you got a really nice storage chamber. In fact, I got my player's handbook in there still. See? It's a nice big storage. In fact, everything you see on this table, other than that player's handbook, because I got mine in here, came from in this bag. All right. So you got the bag, carries all my stuff in it. All right. Then I've got a front pocket, really nice front pocket here that also opens up. All right. And then I got some my wet erase, some Jill gemstones to mark. I got my little laser pointers. Got a pencil. Okay. Let me see what else I carry in here. Oh, a couple of dry erase. The tools of trade. Let's see what else I got over here. What do I got over here? I carry my glasses. I carry my miniature. I carry some extra miniatures, although they were up there. Look at that. Another wet erase. Oh, look, some fruit, some breath mints. All right. Look at that, huh? Every player should have breath mints, just in case. Crazy, right? Okay. And last but not least, what's in that other pocket? I can always put my cell phone in there, too. All right, let's see what's over here. I'm being nosy because I haven't opened this up in a while. Oh, look, of course. More markers. All right, but anyway, you get the drift, right? You get the idea. Now, so that's the mystery of the golden box or the golden bag. Has a nice handle, a strap that you can carry it on. All right. My dice bag. So this is what I carry. My character, all right? And one of these folios, the player character folios. This happens to be the one from Space Jammer. You know, there's my character sheet. I've showed you this before, but I want to show you again. All my spells. They go my magical items. All my spells. And any additional notes that I want to put in there that I make as I need to, right? My player's handbook, because that's very important. I want in hand so I can see what I need to see. I want to be able to just go through there. I don't use my phone for nothing as far as that's concerned. I got all my Bard spell cards right in here. So as I go up levels, or if I switch spells around, I just go to my cards and pull them out. I showed you this is a neat little thing. It's a little token set that I talked about. It has my quick access. There was my character. All my little tokens that I might need. Comes in a nice little tin. This is my dice tray. I roll all my dice in this one. My wife got it for me, Christina. At a Ren Fair, you know. It's purple, of course. Of course, you've seen all my purple dice. There they are. Do you need all these purple dice? Do you need all these dice to play D&D? No. But life is much more fun when you have that many dice to roll. Just for fun. And, of course, I got this for myself one Christmas also. It's an all-leather dice bag. It's a dragon eye. It's really neat. It was custom made for myself in blues and purples. Okay. So that's what I use it in. I mean, all those dice fit in there, and there's still room for more. Don't get me wrong. There's still room for more because you can never have enough dice. Remember that. Never have enough dice. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Oh, and the shirts. Somebody had mentioned something about shirts. I have Dungeon Master shirts. I have player shirts. I have the general. You've all seen them. I've pretty much worn every shirt that I own onto the show at some point or another. So just something fun. That's just the way I do it. This is my as a player. This is what I carry. Oh, and my miniature. Can't forget my miniature. And hey, this is one that I painted. It's a dark miniature. It's a very dark miniature. There's a bunch of purples and that blues, blacks. There's very little bright color, but you can tell there's his loot on his back. You know, he's got his scimitar down there, and he's casting a spell, and so on and so forth. I painted that one and frocked it, you know. But anyway, in all honesty, and your beholder hat. Oh yes, but I only wear that when I Dungeon Master. Sarah, you are correct. I have a neat accessory, but that was the last month. I think I brought it in last month, or I brought it in. It's my beholder hat with all the eyes reaching over and looking every which way. It's a fun thing. Remember, that's what Dungeons and Dragons is all about. It's about having fun. Okay. with people that you like to hang around with, family, friends, acquaintances, people you never met before. They may become your friends. I've met many of my friends through Dungeons and Dragons, and we're still close to this day. So it's a fun game. It can be, but don't let it become a chore, especially as a player. I guess when I say a chore is, don't try to create the perfect character. There is no such thing. I don't know of any one character ever created that could do it all. Okay, and let me take that back. That could do everything well all the time, and at the higher levels. All right. So yes, you can have a jack of all trades. I've created that kind of character where he's got like 2 or 3 or 4 classes under him. And he has a bunch of skills and he speaks a lot of languages, but he doesn't really do anything really. I can't fight as good at 20th level. I can't fight as good as a 20th level fighter because I'm not. I might have like 3 or 4 levels of fighter, 3 or 4. Usually I do 4 because that's where you get that key attribute stat or the feat now in 5e. So 4, 4, 4, a 5th level. I'd be like 5th, 4th level in 5 different classes, which is pretty much a jack of all trades. So you can break that down and have every class on your character. That's okay too. But you're not going to excel at anything. You're literally the jack of all trades, which is really neat. It can be if you want to play your character that way. All right. Have fun. I can't state that and reiterate it and hit you over the head with that. Have fun. See, that's just me hitting you over the head. Boom, boom. Have fun. Have fun with it. So let's kind of wrap what we did this month. So we created a character. We talked about what we need to think about. And this is something that's really important. Have an idea in your head. Even if you've never played before. You had to have heard of a character, read about something, saw a movie, heard somebody talking about Dungeons and Dragons. So you kind of got to have, if you don't, let's say you absolutely don't have any idea, then talk to the Dungeon Master. That's why they're there. And they'll talk to you about different kinds of races and the different classes and the synergy that they have together. Because, yeah, there are some classes that really are kind of made for some of the races and classes synergize really well, right? They go well together. And like I created the half-elf bard, right? Amazing bard. He could fight well, but his big thing was he was a support character, and he was really designed to be more of a role-playing kind of character. That's the other part. Remember, Dungeons & Dragons is an RPG, a role-playing game. It's a tabletop role-playing game where you role-play with other people, including the Dungeon Master. Don't leave the poor Dungeon Master out, all right? And we talked about that role-playing aspect. Now, I'm going to do that another section. I touched on a lot of things because there are a lot of things that go into being a player and running a player character. But baby steps, right? We're going to walk, then we're going to run, and then we're going to run really fast. We're going to skip the whole crawl. We're just going to walk, then we're going to run, then we're going to run really fast. Anyway, yeah, that's crazy. So we're going to build a character, and we're going to think about where we want to go with it. What do we want to do? Do we want to be up on the front lines with a lot of armor and cool weapons and beat things up? Do we want to sit in the back with a bow and arrow? Do we want to sneak around and open traps and unlock doors? Do we want to hurl magical arcane energy and blow things up? Do we want to heal and use divine magic to turn away the undead? There's so much that you can do. And that's just really scratching the surface. Because I talked to you later on when you become 3rd level, you can specialize into different schools. I didn't really go deep into it because depending on what your Dungeon Master allows, that can get, once again, that can go into a lot of branches. I think every single character class has a minimum of like 6 to 8 different paths that they can take. So a barbarian can become a totem. I can't remember them all. I really can't. It's just, I know at the Bard College right off the bat, you can go to become a swashbuckler. Basically, you can go to lore, the College of Lore, and learn more skills and that kind of thing. And you can go to the College of Whispers or something. But that's in a different book altogether. These are just off the top of my head. All right. There's so many of them. I don't listen. I don't try to memorize everything. If I tried to memorize every class, every subclass, every race and subrace, yeah, that's why I have the book. I don't want to memorize it because I don't want to tell you something wrong. So when you ask me in particular, I give you these generals, and then when you want to really get in, you have an idea, we'll go into the book, and I know exactly where to go in the book to walk you through it. And this is something I do with my party Wednesday. They ask me, well, how do I do this? How do I figure out my, what was it? My spell attack bonus and my saving throw DC. So I went into the book, I opened it up to the wizard, and I walked them through it, and I had them do the math and everything. Boom. Now they also know how to do it, you know? And that's important. You learn as you play, so you have an idea of where to go get the information. You don't have to memorize this book. You may never need half of this book, but it's good to know where is the equipment at. It's over in this area. It's got its own area. Where are the feats at? They're in their own area. The order of combat, it's in their area. The races, the classes, and so forth. That's what you need to know. General idea about the spells, but you know what? They got all these neat little spell cards. There's got to be, I mean, these are just a scratching the surface as far as spells. The Sorcerer and Wizard spell card book is about that thick. About what? Maybe 100 different spells or so. The Divine ones are different. The Bard ones, I mean, it's just, yeah. Not going to memorize them all. So don't worry about that. I know sometimes that's one of the concerns that new players have is, oh my gosh, I got to remember all this stuff. No. That's why I tell you, focus on your character, learn the mechanics. Okay, that's something that's very important, the mechanics. And your DM, I'm going to say 99% of Dungeon Masters will sit there and take their time to explain to you, even as the game progresses later on, to show you where things are, to explain how things work. You know, and now here's the thing, and why I don't get into a lot of the actual nitty gritty. I give you the general idea, the generals, right? The generics, I guess you could call it, is that DMs tailor make their campaign. Yes, I told you we'd use 4d6, but I also have a different system that I use at home where it's a point buy and not the one in the book. Okay? Hey, Jason, how are you? Welcome to the show. You haven't missed it. We're still here. We're still here. But so I sometimes do the 4d6, like my new group that I play with on Wednesdays. I showed them it's 4d6. You drop the lowest die and you have to add the 3d. But I put a little twist on it. I'm not going to get into it. And I'm not going to tell you what the point by home is because I don't want to confuse people. Every Dungeon Master does things differently. And here's the funny thing. I do things differently dependent on the level of play. But that's something that we talked about in the Dungeon Master segment, all right, last month. So we're not going to get into that either. But just talk to your Dungeon Master and they'll let you know, hey, here's how I do it. Here's how we're going to do it. All right? And just go with the flow. And then once you get your stats, you build your character, put your stats where you need to go. And that's not min-maxing, by the way. Min-maxing is a totally different concept. You always want to put your best attributes, best scores in the attributes that will help you best. That's not really min-maxing. All right? That's just knowing what kind of character you want to do and giving them the best chance to do so that they can do what they do the best they can. Or like I say, I'm going to do what I can, the best I can. All right. So there you go. Your wizard wants to be able to do their magic the best they can. Your fighter wants to be able to swing a sword the best they can. Your rogue wants to be able to pick locks and open trap door and untrap traps the best they can. All right. So there you have it. That's what I mean. So you build your character, you have an idea, then you look at the background and you give them a nice background that supports them, or it could be something crazy. You could have a bard that once upon a time used to be a recluse. You know, they just, that's just the way they were. That's their background, and then maybe they ran into a bard, a traveling bard, and traveled with them for some reason and became friends. And now look at them. Now they themselves have become a bard. It's a neat little background. Okay, but he started out as a hermit. It's a hermit background. Or maybe like what I did with my character. He was an outlander. He lived at the fringe of society. And so he's an outlander. And so he gets different skills for that. But his story was he grew up out at the fringes of society, civilization. He ran to a bard, or had heard of a bard and saw him sing and said, wow, and heard the stories. And that's the thing about being a bard. You got the stories. You have stories. You've read about something. You've heard a story about something. You heard a rumor. You write it down. You pass it on. Maybe you go and check it out yourself one day once you get to go to an adventuring group, right? There you go. That's a background. And then you start to play. You sit at the table and you meet. You meet at a tavern or wherever it is you're going to meet, at a market day, maybe a traveling caravan, and you start role playing. And all of a sudden, there you are immersed in the game. All right, and you're rolling dice. And the mechanics are, remember, that D20, that D20 is very important. Initiative, saving throws, skill checks, to hit dice, to hit rolls. Does a lot of things. That's the one die you always want to remember. To have big 1 or 2 or 3 or maybe 3 dozen for all I know, right? And get them in your favorite colors. Get them big mixed colors. It doesn't matter. Just get them. Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah. But the dice are a fun part of the game, and you roll them, and sometimes you're like, "Oh my God, help me!" And then you roll them, and like, "Yes!" You know, here we go. Talking about D20s at the table Wednesday night. I had 3 separate players roll 20s on their attack rolls and crit, and they just they just manhandled the wolves, just cut through them like a hot knife through butter. 3 of them in a row, 1, 2, 3, just whack, whack, whack. Maximum row, double damage, yeah! You know, that crit, and there they go. They took care of the wolves. It was really neat. They had a lot of fun with that. So now they really understand what a D20. And then sometimes they're rolling for a saving throws, and they're like, I just rolled a 1. Or a skill check. And you know when they roll a 1 because you can see it on their faces like, they get this, it's like my face is melting. I got a 1. It's not the end of the world. You just didn't pass that skill check or saving throw, which actually could kill you. Anyway, that's not here nor there. All right, now we're having too much fun again. But okay, so create the character. Once that's done, that's the hardest part of it. Sit at the table, have some fun. Enjoy the company of the people who are playing with you. That's really what being a player character is about. It's not hard. You can make it hard. Anything can become difficult if you let it be. Just breathe. Roll your dice. Do you have to get a fancy dice tray? No. Okay? No, you don't. Really, you don't. All right? There's inexpensive dice trays you can just roll on the table. Look. Oh, that's the thing. It might roll off the table. See? That's the thing. It might roll off the table and you might have to chase it. But it'll roll on the table too. Okay? I don't recommend sliding it. Roll it. And let it bounce around and do its thing. But sometimes it'll fall off the table. I'm going to have to chase that one down. But you get what I'm saying. All right. The dice tray helps. There's dice towers, and I've shown you some of the dice towers, all kinds of accessories out there. But have fun. And, as always, if you got any questions, johnsdc2021@gmail.com. It's right down there at the corner. I think it's like down. Well, in the front. I think there's a bar. Oh, hello, my love. Welcome to the show. Yeah, we're about to wrap up, but that's okay. I'm glad you made it. But, just send any of your questions to johnsdc2021@gmail.com. This is going on the 2nd year now that I've been doing the show. In August, it'll be 2 full years. And we've done all kinds of, you can go back there, and they're all archived. So you can go back there on the webpage and bring it up. And if you're looking for a particular, this year, I'm kind of patterning everything. The 1st January was Dungeon Masters. This is for players, and this is the last one. It is, see? And you can always, like my wife, she'll go on this. She got on a little late, but she'll go on afterwards and watch it. In fact, I found out, Sarah was looking, we were just talking about that earlier today, and she said that usually the show gets about 50 views. Last week's show had like 70-something views on it. So that's awesome. I appreciate all of you who watch it live and those who watch it afterwards. I really appreciate you. That lets me know that, hey, I must be doing something right. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's all good. Anyway, I think that's about it. Don't sweat the little stuff. You know what? You can either paint a miniature, play it unpainted, or go get a pre-painted one. Don't get crazy with it. Dungeon Masters usually have one or two extra ones. And if if your dwarf is using a sword and shield and all he has is a hammer, guess what? It's a role-playing game. It's make-believe. Let's just sit there and pretend he has a sword and shield, right? On the character sheet, his armor class is going to be 18 because it's chainmail and a shield. Okay? Yeah, something's just coming to my head. They're there, but it is what it is. So have fun with it. Pretend. All right? That's what it's all about. Have a good time. I'm going to beat you with the head. Have fun. Have fun. Have fun. Kind of, you've been knighted. Have fun. All right. So that's about it for today. Thank you all for joining me. And those who see it later, thank you for watching it. And as always, may the road rise up to meet your feet and may all your adventures be successful. This is John from John's Dungeon Corner at the Collective in Altamont Springs, Florida, saying, I will see you. Oh, wait. I got to tell you. Okay, so next week, we're going to get into some of the particulars. We're going to talk about painting miniatures. I forgot. See, I'm already running off. We're going to talk about scenery. We're going to talk about painting miniatures, all kinds of cool stuff like that. Some of the other stuff that you can do behind the scenes to paint your own miniatures and just have a good time. Because I'll tell you what, I actually enjoy sitting down and just painting miniatures. It is such a relaxing thing. You have fun with it. And if you don't like it, you know what? Dip it and repaint it. Reprimer it. Oh, one last thing. No, I'm going to tell you that next month when we're talking about painting miniatures. All right. So again, have a great weekend. Have a great week. And I will see you next Friday right here. Thanks for joining.